up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another Lil Durk video, and he wants his lyrics and videos removed from evidence in his rder-for-Hire case. So let's get into this article by Complex and find out what's going on. Lil Durk's rder-for-Hire trial is coming up in April, and he has a major issue with some of the evidence prosecutors want to use, his own songs and videos. In a brief filed in federal court on Friday, January 23rd, Durk's legal team is arguing that a dozen music videos, songs, and lyric excerpts from the Chicago rapper that the government seeks to use in its case should be excluded. That material, the brief says, carries an extraordinary risk of unfair prejudice. While the government's argument for the relevance of the material was filed under seal and thus is not publicly accessible, Durk's side points out that their opponent have claimed the music and visuals they want to use are direct evidence and inextricably intertwined with the charges. Durk's attorneys claim this doesn't make sense since there is no evidence when the songs were written or even who wrote any particular line at issue. The notices of which musical evidence is being used do not identify who authored the lyrics when they were created, whether the defendants adopted them, or how the government connects each specific excerpt to any particular fact in dispute, the brief reads. Without this basic information, the court cannot determine whether the music evidence is temporally connected to the charged conspiracy or too temporally distant to qualify as part of the same transaction. In addition, Durk's team claims the lyrics don't in fact say much of anything specific at all. That in addition to being irrelevant and misleading, they simply deal with the same material as a lot of other material in the genre. To bolster their claim, they've brought on an expert, Eric Nielsen, a professor and the co-author of the 2019 book Rap on Trial: Race, Lyrics, and Guilt in America. In a declaration attached to Durk's brief, Nielsen notes that the proposed evidence is of similar type, content, and substance as a large percentage of music produced by other artists in the same genre as the defendants. In his declaration, Nielsen goes on to claim that language the government says is significant to the case about ops, beefs, firearms, and violence is common, commercial, and widespread. One additional argument Durk's side has offered up is that over time the government has changed items on the list of musical evidence it wants to use. If the song was so important, they wouldn't abandon it and replace another at each opportunity, the brief reads. It is as if the government sifted through the hundreds of songs of the defendants and just said, we can make this one fit our narrative, let's use it. As an additional line of attack, the attorneys believe that because the lyrics are objectively offensive in almost every way, they are likely to prejudice a jury, and that this is in fact what the government is hoping. Complex reached out to Durk's lead attorney Drew Feinling, who had no comment. Prosecutors have not responded to the brief as of press time. And this is so ridiculous if you think about it. I mean, the prosecutors are literally trying to use his lyrics and visuals to paint him as a villain. And just like his attorney said, you don't know who wrote the lyrics, when they were written, or what they were even about. I mean, stick to the facts of the case. Why are we focusing on lyrics? Because like they said, what he's saying is not out of the realm of what any other rapper says, and it doesn't prove anything. But that's just my opinion. You guys let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Do you guys think that lyrics should be allowed to be used in court? Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned to the channel because I will be back with more updates on his case.